I joined the cult, Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry, back in 2012, and I'm taking you through the application process and what it is like to be a student in their school. So now I want to talk to you guys about how much this place costs. I was able to find an email that says exactly how much it costs, so let me read you a little snippet of it. It said that if you paid by September 1st, you would receive a 5% discount, which would bring your tuition to $3,990 rather than the $4,200 that it originally cost. And there was something in here that says that if you were an international student, you had to pay up front by the first day of school because you could not work while you were here for the school, so they had to pay by the first. And if you were from America, you were allowed to do a payment plan, and the second part of your tuition was due, I think, by November. In my year in 2012, there were 1,200 students in my first year, and in second year, I believe there were 550. And one thing that is important to note is about 50% of these students are international students. I don't know if that's still true, but when I was there, it was. I did hear that when COVID happened, obviously they couldn't have international students coming, and I've heard that they've switched, maybe not switched, but they do a lot more stuff online, which was not really a thing back when I went to school. So I packed up all my stuff and me and my dad drove out to Redding all the way from Texas. And some of you have asked, like, what were my parents thinking at this time, or like, did they buy into this? Honestly, my parents did not really buy into this. They are just Christians, but remember, I was very suicidal at the time and I had been doing bad for a very long time, and all of a sudden they just saw me happy. And they were just happy that I loved Jesus. They didn't really look too much into it. It was not something that they were personally interested in, but they were happy that I was trying to be close to God. Just to set the scene, the day that we drove out, the song We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together from Taylor Swift came out, so this was a very long time ago, but something crazy happened on our drive up. So as we were driving out there, I got a very unsettling email. Lucky for you, I still have this email. Essentially what it was some people who had got accepted to the school ended up getting all of the email addresses for the people who were going to be students that year, and they ended up attending some services at Bethel, and they felt very unsettled about what they saw, and they had feelings that this could be a cult. I had to come in because the sun was being crazy, but let me read you some sections of this email that I still do have, okay? So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's some sections. The day that we arrived to Redding, we spent the afternoon at the church. While we were there, we witnessed some unsettling things that are nowhere to be found on the website or discussed during our interviews. There was a seminar going on for the mystics and third heaven, which are teachings of Bob Jones, Todd Bentley, and Patricia King. This obviously concerned them because this did not seem biblical and it was not something that they had heard about before. So it said, before making the decision to leave Redding, we decided to call one of our interviewers that accepted us into the school to talk to him about our concerns. Upon asking him to explain to us what the seminars are about, he laughed at our questions as if they were childish. After he explained the third heaven to me and the 3 layers of the spiritual realm, I then proceeded to ask him where in scripture that was so that I could do my own research. And he said, well, I don't know any scriptures to back it up, but that is irrelevant. They proceeded to tell the guy that they thought that we need scriptural backing for things if it's going to be taught, and the person said that they did not need scriptural explanation, which they believed to be untrue, the people writing this email. And then they said that Pastor Bill Johnson, believes they can allow worship and teaching of anything, good or evil, at Bethel. If it leads to a mess, they will clean it up, but that they would not question it. So yeah, the email just ends with these people warning potential students about Bethel, saying that they were not going to be doing the school because obviously there are things being taught there that are not scriptural at all. So when I received this email, I was freaked out. I heard what they were saying and it did scare me because I also did not know that Bethel was going to be teaching those things, and that freaked me out. But on the other hand, I am already up there on my way with my dad, all of my stuff in the back of the car, and I already have roommates. I put down a deposit on an apartment, and I feel like I kind of have to go through with this. And I just really tried to convince myself that this was some sort of misunderstanding, or that these people were just being dramatic. Obviously, in hindsight, I know that I should have listened, because this was just the beginning of the craziness at Bethel. Bethel did end up responding to this email, which is actually kind of surprising, but their response is so comical. I have to read you some of it, okay? We understand that you have received an unsolicited email from a previously accepted BSSM student, so we are writing to let you know that none of your information beyond your email was available to him. For many years, in order to build community, we have allowed accepted students, such as yourselves, to email each other before the school starts to create friendships and coordinate living arrangements. Until now, we have not had any problem with anyone abusing that privilege. Sorry for any concern or confusion this may have caused you. Of course, we feel that we were misrepresented in the email that you received. We are very excited for your soon arrival at Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry and are looking forward to seeking the kingdom together. So you see that in that email, there is no explanation or really any defense to any of the claims that these people are making. They're just saying, we feel we were misrepresented. Can't wait to see you. So I did my best to just shove down any concerns, and I was very rooted in the fact that I felt like I had been healed at that conference. So I felt like, okay, well, this place must be good. It must be good, right? So in the next video, I'm going to talk about just how my first week was there, how the school structure is actually set up, like the different activations you do, revival groups, all of that sort of stuff. So follow for part 4.